1. Idi Amin, the Butcher's Banquet, Uganda. Once a humble soldier, Idi Amin rose to power with guns and charm. But his smile masked a thirst for blood. He expelled Asians, tortured enemies, and ruled by terror. His palace was filled with wealth while hospitals had no medicine. Rumors swirled of cannibalism. As his people died, he threw lavish feasts. In 1979, war chased him into exile. But the trauma he left behind still lingers in Uganda's soul. 2. Robert Mugabe, the promise-turned curse, Zimbabwe. He was once the symbol of freedom, leading Zimbabwe to independence. But power changed Robert Mugabe. Farms were seized, opposition was crushed, and a proud economy crumbled. Inflation soared so high that people carried suitcases of cash just to buy bread. In the end, the hero had become a tyrant, clinging to power in a land that cried for change. 3. Mobutu Sese Seko, the leopard of luxury, Zaire, DR Congo. Mobutu wore a leopard skin hat and ruled like a king. He renamed the country Zaire and himself Father of the Nation. While his people starved, he flew in champagne and gold-plated everything. Billions were stolen and voices of dissent disappeared. His rule lasted over 3 decades, but when it finally crumbled, it left a broken nation behind. 4. Omar al-Bashir, the dictator in the shadows, Sudan. Omar seized power in a military coup. With an iron fist, he ruled and unleashed war on his own people. In Darfur, villages burned and hundreds of thousands died. The world called it genocide. The ICC called for his arrest. For years, he danced around justice until a revolution finally dragged him from the throne. But the scars of his rule still bleed. Jean Bedel Bokassa, the Mad Emperor, Central African Republic. A president turned emperor overnight, Bokassa crowned himself in a golden robe while his people wore rags. He spent millions on a coronation like Napoleon's, and later faced accusations of torture and even cannibalism. His rule was part madness, part horror movie. Eventually, even the French abandoned him. He was overthrown, but his tale lives on as one of Africa's darkest. Charles Taylor, the Merchant of Blood, Liberia. Charles Taylor smiled in suits while children held AK-47s in the jungle. He traded diamonds for weapons and funded terror across borders. In Sierra Leone, he backed rebels who cut off limbs. In Liberia, he ruled with fear. He called himself a president, but history remembers him as a warlord in disguise. Justice caught up with him in The Hague, far from the lands he scorched. 7. Mengistu Haile Mariam, the Red Terror, Ethiopia. A man with communist dreams and a heart of stone. Mengistu ruled Ethiopia with executions, famine, and fear. He tossed a bottle of blood on the floor to start his Red Terror campaign. Families vanished, and bodies lined the streets. As the country starved, he silenced all opposition. When his time came to fall, he fled to Zimbabwe, never facing justice. 8. Sani Abacha, the Silent Thief, Nigeria. He spoke little in public but stole billions in silence. While Nigeria's streets filled with oil money, Abacha filled foreign bank accounts. Activists who protested were hanged. Dissent was a death sentence. After just 5 years in power, he died mysteriously in the arms of women, with a nation still weeping. To this day, his stolen fortune is still being recovered. Yahya Jammeh, the witch hunter of Gambia. Yahya Jammeh claimed he could cure AIDS with herbs and ruled like a village sorcerer. He hunted witches, tortured journalists, and ruled Gambia like it was his personal farm. When he lost an election, he refused to step down, until soldiers from neighboring countries forced him out. He fled into exile, taking millions with him, but his era left deep psychological wounds. 10. Teodoro Obiang Nguema, the king who never left, Equatorial Guinea. Obiang has ruled since 1979, longer than many have lived. Oil flows under his land, but the people drink dirty water. His family buys mansions in Paris while hospitals rot. He jails critics and praises himself as a god. His son drives sports cars worth millions, but most citizens can't afford shoes. Still in power today, Obiang is Africa's longest-serving dictator, and he's not done yet. Subscribe for more real African stories, past and present, unfiltered.